We are now on air. Time for a total takeover.
It's finally here. Welcome to a new episode.
It's about to go down.
Haven't even gotten the car warmed up, ladies and gentlemen, but let's get it cracking. This is yours truly, once again, Dan Adams. This is the Dan Adams Show. I'm going to do something a little different today. This is Wednesday. So everyone that knows or doesn't know, Wednesdays is band practice night for me and my band. So there will be no, show done at night at the studio in the basement at home. So I figured I'd just do my remote studio. And I tell you what, it is Black History Month. And I'm not the type of person that, that just goes all out and does everything that these other black folk do. And I'm not disparaging them at all. Don't get it twisted. I appreciate my black heritage. I appreciate the things that black people have done since the dawn of time. And I will never put a label, put a number, put a distinction, or put anything like having a whole month of Black history. Me being a black man, I'm making history every damn day. Point blank, end of story. But if this is what black people and woke white folk and guilt-ridden white folk need to do, then let's go ahead and do it. So let's go ahead and talk about race. Seeing that society has made identity politics, race, gender, all that crazy stuff, the forefront. So let's talk about, and I haven't talked about it since it's happened, the whole Brian Flores, NFL, and all that good stuff. Okay, I look at it like this. Indeed, I guarantee you, over the years, black men and black coaches have been discriminated against. There is no question that has happened. And for those out there who say it hasn't happened, then stop lying to yourself. But it is now 2022. They even put in a damn rule, the Art Rooney rule, to make sure a black coach is interviewed for every head coaching job that is available. So I'm thinking to myself, what do you want at this point, ladies and gentlemen? Do you want every coach in the National Football League to be black? Do you want untalented, not up to task, not having the ability to win games, black coaches in the league? Or do you just want to fill a quota? Do you just want to fill that check off? We didn't discriminate against black folk this time around because we interviewed every black person that was available who wanted this job. To me, you got to look at it from a standpoint of an owner, okay? And I don't know the hearts and minds and souls of each NFL owner. I don't. But I guarantee you, ultimately, the ultimate goal is to win. I don't know what goes on with the hiring process, okay? I'm not a part of any NFL team, NFL front office, owner. I don't know how it goes down. But I guarantee you, if a professional, just super intelligent, and I'm talking about intelligence in the game of football, also just intelligence period, someone that knows, is damn near an expert on their X and O's, okay? Because to me, there is no expert on anything, or nothing would break, okay? We wouldn't be the flawed, sinful people that we are. So there are no experts. There are no perfectionists out here, okay? Let's get that straight. Just like to get that off my chest. A little tangent, but we're back at it. So, when you have someone that has the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding of NFL football that, may not have the track record, may not have the NFL coaching experience, and you want to give that person a chance, give it to him. See how he rolls out. Now, if this person, I'm sorry, doesn't win games, and that is the ultimate, win games, get to the Super Bowl and win it, if they give you 2-3 years to at least get yourself in the playoffs and build a foundation, if you're freaking over 3 years, 17 games, so 17 times 3 is 54. Say you're freaking, 10 and 44 or something like that. Black, white, Puerto Rican, or Haitian, your ass should be fired. Okay? So stop thinking just because you're a black coach that they don't give you a chance. They don't give white coaches a chance either. They may get hired more at heated here. Getting heated. If you look at it, and I'm looking at it like this, I don't know the percentage of black and white coaches in the NFL. I don't. I'll have to go look that up. Don't have the stats in front of me. But if there are more white coaches than black coaches, then obviously the positions that need filled are going to be filled more than with white men or women. Who knows, the next couple years there might be a female NFL coach. Who knows? But my thing is this. Just because things were just jacked up back in the 50s and 60s and onward, doesn't mean that they're jacked up today. Doesn't mean that racial discrimination and just straight up racism like Brian Flores is spouting is wrought throughout the NFL. You can't say that. Because if that was the case, then there'd be nothing but white players out there playing the game. Now granted, yeah, black players for the most part, make up the majority of NFL players. But that doesn't mean when it comes to NFL coaches that we should just bend over backwards and just because you want to meet some type of quota that the NFL needs to just hire black coaches, just to be hiring black coaches. I'm sorry. If I'm an owner, I'm going to give anyone who wants to interview for that job. And my thing is, how many black coaches out there are just putting themselves out there and saying, hey, I want to interview for this NFL head coaching position? I would like to know that statistic. Because it seems like there's maybe a lot of assistant coaches who ain't ready yet. That's right, I said ain't. Who ain't ready yet, who don't want to put themselves out there, who feel that they don't have the experience and the acumen to become an NFL head coach. No one wants to talk about that side of it. No one. Now I'm going to end this topic with this. Is racism and racial discrimination completely wiped off the planet Earth? No. Will it ever be? No. But we are way better off than where we were in the 50s and 60s. And if you can't seem to grasp that concept, then you are stuck on stupid. All right. Seeing that the left mainstream media doesn't even want to write a sentence on what's going on with the Hillary Clinton campaign, the John Durham investigation, and Orange Badman was right. Leslie Stahl, you want to put out an apology? Do you want to put out a correction? All you leftist numbnut moonbats who thought it was just completely and utterly out of the realm of possibility that Donald Trump, then candidate, and then Donald Trump president, was spied on? Damn right, this is way worse than Watergate. Granted, then candidate Donald Trump. Okay, they spied on him then. Okay, I'm thinking to myself, well, if they did something, illegal, which it is, then okay, then those who perpetrated the fraud, those who were at the forefront of this spying, then they should be held accountable. And whatever laws that are in place, those laws should be held up to the fullest extent. But they didn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't come close to stopping there. He becomes the president of the United States of America. People were crying and falling out of the chairs and this distraught that the orange bad man won and was voted in, duly elected the president of the United States. Well, the Clinton campaign didn't stop with the spying at that point. They just couldn't just be humble and realize that they lost. As someone said on the Gutfeld show the other night, someone within the federal government, someone within that presidential administration, I believe, it would have to be someone laid over, someone who didn't get the boot yet, someone who hadn't been replaced yet with someone that Donald Trump had his blessing on. Someone left behind from the Obama administration. That's right. Barack Hussein Obama's administration. I'm putting it out there. Because why would someone who was loyal to Trump help someone in the Hillary Clinton campaign spy on them as he was president, when he became president, when he was in the Oval Office? Ladies and gentlemen, that's treason. Treasonous. And I'm not just throwing that word out there just to throw it out there like some people do. But someone put forth an operation, conspired with other individuals, and whatever the amount may be, all of those individuals need to be brought to the federal court. I believe it would be the federal court. Yeah, should be brought to federal court. And like I said, whatever charges, whatever laws that have been broken, let the law smack down on these individuals to the fullest extent. They spied on a sitting president of the United States of America. And oh, whoa, a little ice there. My thing is this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what political persuasion you may be, what political aisle you may walk down, left, right, middle, agnostic. Getting a little heated here. An opposing political campaign spied on, then as a candidate, Donald Trump, then spied on President Trump to try and muster up, dum up, finagle, whatever, get the dirt to continue this Russian hoax, this Russian narrative that homegirl that's on, leave, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow. Where is her damn apology? Every damn show since the day that when whoever leaked this whole Russia BS, that's all was her. That's what her show was. Russia hoax, Russia collusion, Russia disinformation. Where is she at with her apology? Where is bug-eyed Adam Shiftless at? Where's his apology? Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we won't hear one iota of an apology from any of these folks, because as you can see, with the complete and utter blackout media coverage from the lamestream media, it is utterly despicable. And at some point, the chickens are going to come home to roost, because with this investigation, it ain't over. There's going to be more information, more indictments, hopefully. Oh, I should say more. There are going to be indictments down the road, but there's going to be more court filings and things of that matter coming down the pipe. It ain't over. So at some point, this leftist lamestream media, these political hacks who screamed for 4 damn years about Russian collusion, that Trump's a Russian agent, he's a Russian puppet of Putin, they are going to have to talk about this. They are going to have to speak on this, whether they want to or not. And it's up to us, the alternative media, to make sure that their feet are held to the fire. Whether you hated Trump or not, this was treason, ladies and gentlemen. Treason. You cannot spy on the president of the United States like they did and get away with it. Now, as I posted the New York Post's, front page on all my social media outlets, I said, hey, we all know that thick cankles Hillary Clinton won't see a day in jail because of this. But there better be some people lined up in orange suits, because Lord have mercy, this Watergate is baby shit compared to what these mofos did. Baby shit. Yes, I said it. Baby shit. Now, I'm going to end this segment of today's show, and I'm going to bring you a clip blitz, as I call it. Clips from here and there of things that I feel that you should know about if you don't know, and if you do know, you're going to just be known about it again. But I want to talk about real quick, and I mean real quick, the continued effort by these local school boards. And believe me, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what's happening when these school boards meet without the public and what they are, ratcheting up behind the scenes as to what they're going to try to do to our children. And ladies and gentlemen, telling you, COVID has been their red herring. COVID has been their slip knot. COVID has been the opportunity to wrangle in these kids, to wrangle in and put forth policies that us parents out here would never agree upon. That remote learning, that farce of remote learning, they try to put in place all kinds of leftist wokeism. And to what extent, we don't know for certain. But they are still trying to manipulate, indoctrinate our children to the point where they're trying to size them up and make them go against their own parents. Make them somehow question their parents, somehow question their parents and their parenting, question who their parents are. This is going on. This has been going on behind the scenes. And thank God that this stuff is coming to the forefront. It's coming to the light. So what are you going to do about it, my fellow parents? Are you going to stand by and let these left woke, just complete and utter moonbats infiltrate your kids' lives to the point where they're pitting them against you? I hope not. And I pray to the God above, and hopefully through the intercession of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, that we as parents step up and make sure that these schools do not, ladies and gentlemen, take over our role as parents. And as I said, the Clip Blitz is right around the corner. But as I end every show, and all shows, may God continue to bless you and yours. May he keep you and your family safe. Until next time, God bless you and yours. Peace.
Well, a bombshell, a genuine bombshell in court filings from the special prosecutor John Durham looking into the Russia hoax. Tech executive number one and his associates exploited internet traffic pertaining to Trump Tower, the Trump apartment building in New York City, and also the executive office of the President of the United States. The president himself surveilled, had his internet comings and goings under surveillance by a private citizen. This would be worse than Watergate if it's true, and this is the allegation from a government prosecutor. I want to bring in Kash Patel, former deputy assistant to President Trump and chief of staff to the acting secretary of defense in the Trump administration. Kash, welcome to Newsmax. What do you think?
Oh, wow, Greg, thanks for having me. And I don't know where to begin. Look, as the guy who unraveled the Russiagate investigation as the chief investigator during Chairman Nunes, he and I have been talking. We've been talking to the president. None of us thought it could get this bad. They literally, as you let off, a private entity on behalf of a political opponent, Hillary Clinton, paid for access to the entire White House compound to infiltrate the servers of not just the office of the president, the National Security Council, the National Economic Council, the Trade Council, and the office of the Vice President of the United States.
It's pretty wild. You must have noticed, as I've noticed, the mainstream media are totally ignoring this story. This is a bombshell. They know this story. They know Mueller's part of this story well enough to know that this is genuine news. Yesterday on those talk shows, not one word. I can't believe it. I quite frankly, even for them, I find this hard to believe. Not a mention. How is this going to play out? I mean, they are just going to pretend it's not happening?
No, I think we're going to force it on them. Look, this, as bad as Russiagate was with the Steele dossier, this makes Watergate look like a parking citation. They spied and they used money from opposition research to go ahead and spy on a sitting president at his White House and his candidate. What's going to happen is these mainstream media are going to ignore this story for a few more days, and then they're going to start personally attacking us, me, Devin, the president, like they did 3-4 years ago. And then they're going to be forced to correct their stories in hiding late on a Friday night when no one's looking and say, oh, we might have gotten that Spygate thing wrong. And we were totally wrong when we said Trump was not spied on. And there's no way the Hillary Clinton campaign paid for any of it. They were wrong on all counts, so there's going to be impossible for them to admit it. But thankfully, your show is going to help, hold them to their feet to their fire.
Well, the seeds were out there for a long time. I mean, if you were watching, you could tell when Attorney General Barr was testifying in 2019, he said out loud spying, and people were shocked. But, I mean, people knew about, well, the campaign at least portion of this for a long time. Let's take a look at that, please. Any minute now.
So you're not suggesting, though, that spying occurred?
I don't, I guess you could, I think there's spying did occur. Yes, I think spying did occur.
It was pretty wild. Again, he was attacked. This could not, I think he may even have walked it back a little bit. But this is worse than anything he was saying and anything President Trump was saying, that he was being spied on while he was president. Why are we only learning about this now? I mean, this is news even to you, right?
Yeah.
You didn't know this was not in the cards. And this was now maybe 5 years ago. Why has it taken so long?
It's taken so long because when we were running the investigation in Congress, we had limited powers. When President Trump came into office, everyone, including Comey, McCabe, Strzok, and the like, were trying to take him down. And we are now finding out, thankfully, to John Durham's utilization of grand juries and federal prosecution powers. That's why it's taken so long, because we finally have a prosecutor who's willing to take it to the mats. And to uncover the fact that this story is the biggest political scandal and criminal scandal in U.S. history just helps the mainstream media sweep it under the rug. But John Durham has interviewed 24 people in the grand jury, to include CIA case officers, FBI agents and directors, leadership in the Clinton campaign cycle, and they've indicted her lawyer. So this is just starting. It's how you build a criminal conspiracy case, and they're not going to be able to ignore indictments once they start coming in full swing.
Now, we have a picture here of Michael Sussman. He is the attorney who is working for Hillary Clinton's campaign. He was also working for the tech executive. Now, some will say, oh, Michael Sussman, who's that? Who cares? This is not that important. I'll refer everyone to Watergate. Look at some of the names of the people who went to jail during Watergate. They're not exactly household names, you know, Chuck Colson, Bud Crow. There are all kinds of people you never heard of that went down. Ultimately, the fish got bigger, but it started with people, you know, at this level.
You're absolutely right. It has to start somewhere. You cannot go on and infiltrate the White House servers and the White House internet by just doing it from the top. You have to have a team. And Michael Sussman and Mark Elias were the lead attorneys for the Hillary Clinton campaign, who were paid millions and millions of dollars to perpetuate the Steele dossier fraud. And now we know they were paid millions and millions of dollars to go out and buy false information from a tech executive. And then here's the worst part. They secured a, quote, sensitive arrangement with someone in government to gain access to the White House servers. That means someone in government gave them permission and paid the contracting tech executive company's firm to allow that work to happen. That could only have been done with the utilization of the intelligence community willingly. And that, to me, is the biggest criminal scandal that we have yet to talk about.
Yes, and Sussman himself went over to the CIA, government agency number 2. Everybody understands it's CIA. And apparently, perhaps lying to the CIA is not a crime. You're not allowed to, seriously, I think you can, I mean, they tell lies all the time over there. 10 seconds, I only have 10 seconds left. John Durham, at any point in this process, were you frustrated because it didn't seem like a lot of progress was being made? And do you feel like finally, okay, he's going to deliver?
He's going to deliver. Of course, everybody gets frustrated. As a former federal prosecutor who brought international terrorism cases that were pretty complex, this guy's unraveling the biggest criminal conspiracy against the sitting president in the United States history. It's going to happen. Just give the guy a few more months. It's coming.
All right, Kash Patel, we appreciate it. To be continued, sir. And we'll be right back.
Thank you.
I'll tell you, I hope Donald Trump sues them all for everything, because they damaged his reputation throughout his 4 years in office, so much so that he was constantly on defense, constantly explaining that there was no collusion, constantly explaining why that he had to explain that he thought they were spying on him. All of this, again, every American should be outraged by this. Do you know how many foreign countries want to get into the White House's internet flow? How many adversaries out there want to get into the White House, the President of the United States, internet activity? And this tech executive was able to do that? What does that tell us about the national security of this country? What does that tell us of the power of the Clinton machine enabling to take down her political enemy for 4 years straight and damage his reputation? Sure, she lost the election, but this is so much bigger. This is the biggest scandal we have ever seen. Now we know for sure they tried to cheat in the 2016 election. They tried to cheat in the 2020 election behind the guise of COVID. We are getting into it this morning. Oh, and by the way, I have to tell you, all weekend long, the White House leakers have been running around saying that Putin is going to invade Ukraine this Wednesday. So, is it all a ruse that they are really going to invade this Wednesday, or are they trying to create all of this drama because we were getting this Durham information and because we just saw 40-year highs on inflation. We're talking with the
If I said it, I meant it. Bite my tongue for no one, for no one.